Scholar of the Christian Bible. He is Abdulkarim. Abdulkarim, thanks for accepting our invitation.
Thanks for having me, Mr. Fomi.
Yeah, in the COVID mood, anti-COVID mood.
Yeah, absolutely. The pandemic is real, so we have to all be careful.
Yeah, it's a message, and of course, we need to be careful in order to keep safe. This is your first outing after your detention, media outing, at least on Equinox.
Well, let me continue by thanking God and I ask Him to send His blessings upon His prophet and messengers, righteous men and women who've lived, to the suffering people of Southern Cameroon. We ask Him also to cleanse the world of this very dangerous pandemic. We ask Him to bring justice to the people who are suffering, especially the oppressed of the day, the people of Southern Cameroon. Yeah, this isn't actually my first outing.
British Southern Cameroon. Not the northwest and southwest regions.
Southern Cameroon, that it is, yes. So you can choose your words as you want carefully. I'm choosing mine carefully.
No, within the context, right? Anyway, go on. I just said that I needed to just do that correction that the people of former British Southern Cameroon.
No, it's not a correction. Actually, what you're doing is a reversal. So I'm correcting you. It is Southern Cameroon, unless you want to explain to me how and when that changed. But that said, this is not my first outing since I was detained, to answer your question.
On Equinox, at least. It's the first time we're having you on Equinox.
Yes, sir. No, I think I did a show with Mr. Babila on the inside.
On Skype.
Yeah, on the inside.
By then you are not in Cameroon. Yes, you said you are talking from somewhere. Actually, I was here present when you had a program with Mr. Babila on Skype. We are actually grateful, happy you accepted our invitation and you're here with us. We will be talking about a lot of things in this edition of Talking Point, but you just followed the news from start. What caught your attention?
Yeah, well, I saw, let me continue praying. Oh my God, expand my bread for me, clear the impediments of my tongue so my people can understand me. Yeah, a lot of things would catch one's attention, especially in today's life. Actually, I hear there is this restriction on basically wearing a mask to stay safe of COVID. I don't find that in Douala, but I hear people are being charged for money in the Southern Cameroons, Bamenda particularly, 6,000 for not wearing that by people who are not wearing it in the first place. So that caught my attention, besides the governor of, so-called governor of Boya, who
the governor of the southwest region.
Yeah, so I'm choosing my words carefully. Who is appreciating students who are writing amidst bullet. And what struck me again, each time I see him, I remember the fact that he's not yet apologized for calling us and our parents dogs. So if you're asking me what caught my attention, that caught my attention.
And it's something worth appreciating, right? At least the numbers have increased compared to what we've had since the escalation of the Anglophone crisis. We've had sessions of the GC, ordinary and advanced level, and of course, statistics this year shows that the numbers have increased, be they in the northwest or in the southwest region.
Numbers in this country has always increased. You need to check what is increasing it. The problem with the education of Southern Cameroon has never been that people should not go to school. The thing is the challenge that we have on the ground. There is insecurity, and then the curriculum is under scrutiny. We've not addressed that. So the numbers can rise or fall, and it doesn't really matter. The reality is that the people are resisting oppression. That one is clear, and whether or not people are increasing in the marketplaces or in schools is a different subject.
Yeah, you know, education too, it's important, and of course that's might just be interpreted as people understanding that probably getting education grounded in this region wasn't a better idea after all. And of course, kids need to go to school, whatever the socio-political challenges or the context. Kids must go to school and they should learn so they can be able to express themselves correctly, like you and I. Tomorrow, if that's not the case, they won't be able to do that.
Yeah, I agree with you. Education is absolutely important, and you don't want to tell Southern Cameroonians that. I think they understood it prior the plebiscite. They were scholars in that place, and they are still scholars. The problem had been, which has been and is what under what circumstances should people study and what are they learning? You go to school to be able to solve problems, not to be able to enslave yourself with lies in the name of education. That is what people have challenged, And again, I went to school in that same place. We didn't go to school with bullets. We didn't write GCE with bullets over our heads. So trying to appreciate that, to me, is like saying that having a vehicle when you're supposed, renting a vehicle when you're supposed to own one is a better deal.
And you know, our discussion actually will have to center on the issues in these regions. Currently, we have something like a deadlock. People are talking about negotiations. People say government should look into the issues and talk with people from the opposite side, and we are having the effects manifested in all forms. The most recent sad manifestation of the arms conflict is the fall or the demise of a detainee of the Anglophone crisis in Yaoundé, Thomas Tangim. You must have heard about it.
Yeah, may the dead forgive our silence, and may the dead forgive our inaction. That is one of us again who has died for not doing anything but for being who he is. And we also are going through more than that for being who we are. Actually, that's not my definition. It's the definition of Kofi Annan, the former secretary of the United Nations, rest his soul. He said genocide is killing a person or a people for not doing anything but for being who they are.
That's his definition.
A simple definition for you know. Look, I checked. I think slavery was abolished by the European countries in the 16th and 17th century, and the 13th Amendment of the United States finally did it in 1835. But what we've seen today, we are in a case where Southern Cameroonians are treated worse than dogs. We have been referred to that anyway. We are treated worse than dogs. This man, his wife is now telling us that for 4 days he excreted and he urinated on the bed. I don't know if you saw that except when she was crying over the corpse in the hospital. This is a man chained. When you're sick, you barely find comfortable positions in that sick bed. You know what I mean, Armstrong? You barely find comfortable position when you have fever. How would you find a position when you are in chains? A man who has been defeated by nature, illness, yet in chain, and he finally died in chain. Southern Cameroonians have lost infants in like manner. They have lost people in their prime in like manner. They have lost people who are supposed to be enjoying their retirement, and they have lost even old people in like manner. Well, the world is seeing it. This is not the first. Perhaps it's not going to be the last, but justice is going to be served on the people of Southern Cameroon.
Why was the case of Nganyo Tangem Thomas different? He's not the first detainee of the Anglophone crisis who went sick. We've had some who were taken from prison to hospitals. They got treated and were taken back. They were not chained. Why was he chained?
I think you're asking the wrong person. You should ask the administration of La République du Cameroon why he was changed. But what I can answer is what I can answer.
All right, go on.
No, you're free. Please carry on.
I say so to make it clear that it might not be because he was an Anglophone detainee, because we've had other Anglophone detainees sick who were taken to hospitals, not chained, were allowed or given the possibility to be treated and finally taken back.
I'm surprised you're saying you're making it clear. Do you have proofs to that?
I'm not making it clear. I'm saying it's a possibility.
So you're making a suggestion, all right?
It's a possibility.
Yeah, so I can answer it in this manner. The question is, what has any Southern Cameroonian done in the first place to be in those jails?
But Abdulkarim, when you talk about Southern Cameroon, you're referring to Anglophones, right? People of the northwest and southwest regions.
No. Totally and completely no. There's a difference between an Anglophone and.
But, okay, the
do you want me to
answer? And southwest regions.
Do you want me to answer your questions?
I want us to be clear on that, so we proceed.
So how do you want to be clear? By asking the question and answering?
No.
So let me help you with my own. You're asking for my opinion, and I'm responsible for that. An Anglophone, by definition, dictionary definition, and philosophical and epistemological definition, is a speaker of English. Canadians are Anglophones.
Yes.
Brazilians are Anglophones. A Francophone is a speaker of French. A Southern Cameroonian is a bona fide indigene of a territory defined by international treaties. So there are differences. All, in my opinion, all Southern Cameroonians by language are Anglophones, but not all Anglophones are Southern Cameroonians. We have many Francophones who have adopted the culture and they are living in Southern Cameroons. They can comfortably be termed Anglophones, but when it comes to that definition of a sovereign territory, they will fall short of the definition of being a Southern Cameroonian.
That was then, right? That was then, because
It is now.
There was actually German Cameroon.
German Cameroon, and let me clarify that. Germany did not. Germany did. Tell me the flag of German Cameroon. Germany had an empire that included Gabon, Equatorial Guinea, Chad, and so on. If you're saying this, then Italy can go back and claim the entire Europe and Israel, because the Roman Empire controlled that.
We're actually looking at the evolution.
So the evolution would start from when boundaries were defined. And for this one, you need to go to 1914.
All right, you were talking about the situation of Thomas. You know, it will help us a lot. We had something important on the table. Yeah, Thomas.
Yeah.
I said it will probably be that his situation was different. We are looking at all possibilities, because it's on an
as different as that of Wazizi, right?
One will not understand. Somebody like me finds it difficult to understand why somebody will be sick for 6 months.
Do you understand why? Do you understand why
finally taken to the hospital?
Do you understand why a baby was poured in oil in Kendem in 2018? Do you understand why Baby Mata was killed?
A lot of those things have happened in the north.
So, because you're saying you don't understand, and I agree with you, it beats all of our imaginations. Why someone would be beaten by nature and still be in chain, irrespective of what they did. Still be in chain at that level, irrespective. Let's assume he was an outright criminal. But, I mean, we can have people securing the environment, including the door, but for the purpose of humanity, let him take full treatment. And no one can be taking full treatment in chains.
It's true, but now with all this, we will continue to wonder, to say we can't imagine these kind of atrocities, we can't imagine this if the situation continues like this. And now, to move out of it, some are talking about the need, the necessity for the government and the opposite side, or the belligerent parties, to negotiate. In your opinion, what form of negotiation will suit the possibility of moving out of this impasse?
Oh, yeah, that's beautiful. And that's exactly why Southern Cameroonians have been resisting since 1961 and escalating in 2016. The purpose is to talk. They have never wanted to fight. They have never wanted to talk because they want to fight. The reverse has been true. The only reason they have fought and are fighting is because we want to talk. Therefore, there is a table that has been set in place by the international community, championed by Switzerland and backed by international bodies like the United Nations and other countries like Canada, like the UK, like the United States of America. Southern Cameroonians have been on that table for over a year, waiting to do what? To talk. Let's get to definitions of simple terms regarding the question. You're asking about negotiations. What are negotiations, or what is a negotiation? It's simply a means by which problems are being settled. Differences are being settled. It's a process by which people get into compromise or into agreement. So basically, my little knowledge about it is that it has six stages. The first one is preparation, and the last one is implementation of course of actions. So there are 4 in between. This is what Southern Cameroonians have been clamoring for. And you're asking the question, what form of negotiation? It is an international form of negotiation. It is a case between 2 territories that has to be resolved. This is why the world has called for a negotiation without any preconditions. And Southern Cameroonians yielded to that call, and they are sitting and waiting for, like you say, the belligerents to come and negotiate, discuss and negotiate. The beauty with negotiation is that the process encourages a settlement of problems without disputes and arguments. That is why there is a mediation. There is someone in the middle mediating, so that, like you said...
And who is this in this context? In this context?
Switzerland. Switzerland is the mediating country.
To mediate.
In this case.
Yes.
For what we have now. And I'm not here saying that Switzerland is the only country that can do this. But for right now, they are the ones who have offered and have been supported by the international community.
And the other party is not accepting to come to the table. Who
is the other party?
You talked about one of the belligerent parties who is ready to negotiate.
La République du Cameroon. Yeah, I will not make a statement, La République du Cameroon. That is the name of the country. That is the name in the UN, anyway, La République du Cameroon. So,
yeah, when I'm speaking in English anyway, you can say the Republic of Cameroon.
Yeah, it's better for me to call it in French. So, because it's a French country and the name was given in French, the Republic of Cameroon is only a translation. So, what I'm saying is that I wouldn't say for them that they have refused to come, but they are not yet there.
Okay.
But absolutely, we know that they have tried to delay it with other things like the Grand National Dialogue. But ultimately, whether I'm dead or alive, whether the people whose names are on the board today are dead or alive, La République du Cameroon is going to sit on a round table as equals, face to face with the people of Southern Cameroon, and talk about the root causes of the problems.
So
that will happen.
So we can move out of it.
That is the only way to move out of it.
Thanks very much, Abdulkarim Ali. You are a Muslim scholar of the Bible. It was a wonderful chat with you.
Thank you very much. And dear Southern Cameroonians, please do not neglect the pandemic. It is real, it is killing people, and it's killing even black people. Stay safe and keep well.
There you go again, and of course, referring to the people of the northwest and southwest regions of Cameroon. Ladies and gentlemen, thanks very much for your kind attention. Stay with Equinox Television. Interesting programs continue.